Well, why, hello there. Today is September 27th, 2022. Welcome to Everything About the Scores with Danny Jollis. My name is Danny Jollis. What a show we have. A great week of sports. Football's in full swing. Baseball coming down to the wire. The World Cup actually beginning advertisements and trying to pretend like it's going to be good. Basketball players reporting to training camp. Hockey players reporting and playing preseason games. It's the best time of year, and I'm so happy to be at this point. Now, with that said, this show is about all those things that happen around sports. So if you don't watch sports at all, and I know people who listen to the show are so bored of this stupid introduction, but there are new people, and I try to get through it fast. You never watched sports before? It's about all the stories that happen off the field. No worries. If you watch a ton of sports, these are stories they don't talk about as much and or talk about quickly and usually in a sports way and not in a human way. And that's where we step in. Joining me today is co-host, co-producer, friend. No cop for everybody.
Woo, woo, yeah.
Woo, woo. Now, in an unprecedented situation, we have never had this in the history of this podcast, because we've had many a situation. We've never had this before. A guest slept through his time to be here. I woke him from his sleep. He went, oh no. We had confirmed it last night. But what that means is we get to have a quicker, fun episode, the two of us. You know, sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. And while it has been a longer run of no guests than we're used to here, that doesn't mean that it is going to be great. Doesn't mean we're not going to have a good time. We're going to figure it out.
We had a great time last time.
This time is only going to be any better. And while I'm not going to do a one-story episode, we are going to move through stories faster, I think. Let's have almost a rapid fire the whole show.
Boom.
No, did you have a good weekend? Anything worth reporting?
Did I have a good weekend? I did have a good weekend. I had some fun shows that were really cool. Yeah, just super chill. Nothing major to report, but had a fun time.
That's great too. I mean, no, the major report is great. Thank you so much for asking. I had a good weekend. You know, it's parties. Met some wrestlers I'm a fan of.
Whoa.
Kept my composure under fire. But my heart was a pitter-patting.
Yeah.
My heart was a pitter-patting. Whew. So cool. Wow. Can handle a famous comics I feel nothing towards. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you feel. Famous comics I can look at all day and be like, I know exactly how you got here. Yeah. I know what it is. I'm impressed by you. It isn't that I'm not like, hey, you're you and I'm, watched you. But I'm also always like, I know who you are.
Yeah. It would take, I don't think I would get starstruck by a comic.
Yeah, it's like anytime you see somebody you see on TV a bunch and then they're in front of you, there's always a moment of like,
yeah.
But that's it. Actors all day can do that one. Athletes.
Did you see them at a wrestling event or was
it
just like in the
wild? At a party.
Oh, wow.
In the wild.
Even more fun.
How you doing? Name's Danny. And then they say their name and I have to be like, I know.
Yeah.
Although some of them you don't know. Because they go by fake names.
Right.
So that's how I know them. And I have to be like, one of them I had to be like, what is your real name? Which was humiliating.
It's a fun.
But it was awesome.
I know what they sing songs about.
I know.
You, but what is thy real name?
What is your real name? It's like such an embarrassing question. And it's like something I kind of should know, but I don't. I don't know the real names. Particularly the ones WWE makes everybody change their name for the most part.
Interesting.
And so if you're a WWE person, you are, since the dawn of me knowing you, fake named.
Yeah.
It's me being like, all right. And then it's like when they leave WWE, because like Daniel Bryan, very famous wrestler, his real name, and now what he goes by is Bryan Danielson.
Is that his real name?
That's his real name. But he went by Daniel Bryan. Confusing. Hard to, I still.
You know what? I'll say this. Unnecessary.
Why couldn't he just been Bryan Danielson in WWE? Reason? Trademarking. They can trademark the fake name. They can't trademark your real name. And they can't make as many products.
Yeah, but if you got to make a fake one, make a fun fake one. Don't just like
it worked. He's one of the big, but then it's one of the biggest. He's one of the biggest ones.
All right.
So on one hand, you're right. On the other hand, seemed to have worked out for him.
Yeah.
He seems to have done pretty well. The point is, we have a great app. We've got some really good stories. Let's get into it. Let's hit the theme song and let's begin.
Woo.
You're a number one fan, so you know the stats. Heard all the pundits talking, so you know enough of that. Maybe it's time to hear some crazy folks chat about all the other stuff that's behind the net. But maybe you don't care about playing ball, and you want to hear the gossip whether big or small. Maybe it's time to hear some funny folks talk about what goes on when the batter don't walk. Maybe you'd like to hear a little more. Maybe you don't even care about sports. Either way, go on and buckle up your shorts. Cause this is everything but the scores with Danny Jollis. Yeah, doggity.
And we're back. We'll begin with more of a serious story, which we don't like to do. But every now and then we have to talk about real issues that come up. And unfortunately, the NBA has returned. Players are reporting to training camp. James Harden lost 100 pounds.
He just shaved.
He didn't shave. I wish he had shaved. I do someday want him to shave. I do think that'd be very funny. Jimmy Butler showed up in the crazy haircut. He's had crazy haircuts all offseason, and basically his first press conference was like, I just wanted Twitter to get upset, so I just kept doing weird haircuts.
I love that.
I was like, respect the hell out of that move.
Yeah.
Just actively trolling us by being like, how dumb can I make my hair? And then watching NBA Twitter be like, this guy's out of his mind.
Have you seen pictures of Harden without his beard?
From like college?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Is it weird? It must be weird. I haven't seen it in a while.
I don't like it. I mean, but it's his face, so that sounds mean, but it's just like I'm not used to that, you know?
I mean, he's trained us. Yeah. James Harden, for those you don't know sports, his beard goes down to like, I mean, he has a Santa Claus beard, but black, both beard and person, which Santa Claus can be black now, and I like that. But John Hamm is playing Santa Claus in the World Cup commercials.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a bold move due to the fact that, what are we doing? I don't know much about Santa Claus, but I think the one thing we agree on is that it isn't John Hamm. Yes. I'm Jewish, but that feels sacrilegious to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always had a beard. He's back. Jimmy Butler's doing crazy hair. Everybody's excited. NBA players show the most personality. They're excited. New players and new teams. Even me, a dumb Wizards fan whose team is going to stink, I can tell you how I think they could win. That's the beauty of sports. Every season is great. And also, we immediately began the season with 2 massive suspensions of very important people. So that's fun. The first one is a man by the name of Robert Sarver. He is the owner of the Phoenix Suns and Phoenix Mercury, the WNBA team. He has been suspended for a year for what I guess has been an investigation going on for quite some time, that he is not the best. Some of his highlights that they found on their uncoverings: on at least 5 occasions during his tenure with the Suns Mercury organization, repeated the N-word when recounting the statements of others. I like that they clarified it with the statement, with basically being like, but it was a rap lyric, which is still not great.
Yeah.
You never also want to see at least 5. It says
5 we can account for.
5 that we factually know happened, which means, well, not great.
Yeah.
That's bad. Engaged in instances of inequitable conduct toward female employees, made many sexually-related comments in the workplace, made inappropriate comments about the physical appearance of female employees and other women, and on several occasions engaged in inappropriate physical conduct toward male employees, which I think is just slapping like a male employee on the butt. But doesn't sound. But and then demeaning and harsh treatment of employees, including by yelling and cursing at them, which to me is standard ownership. So I don't include the last one. That's, I think, just what happens when you have billionaires.
Yeah, I feel like every video I've seen of an NBA owner or football owner, they're yelling at somebody.
Yeah. I mean, so these are.
They just tag it on, so they're like, "We also saw that he was doing this."
Yeah. It's like I literally read it. I was like, take it off the list.
Yeah.
Take it off the list. We all the first one's your story.
Yeah.
Suspended for a year. They seem to be it seems like he is probably going to be forced to sell the team due to his behavior. But no, not great. Not great behavior. We don't like to see it.
Yeah.
And you don't like to see it to start the basketball season. But it's a big deal.
Rough.
Getting rid of an owner. Because as you remember, first segment of the return of this show was about the owner of the Washington Commanders, who is still the owner of the Washington Commanders. Nothing has happened to him at all. Yep. Not 1 ounce of repercussion. So he continues, but the NBA actually is doing something about it. Suspended him. At the exact same time, they suspended the head coach of the Boston Celtics, Ime Udoka, for what is a much more... Yes?
I actually just talked about this last night with some comics.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I was like, what? And then I heard the name and I was like, I know. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting story, because what makes this story fun, and it's not fun in the sense that it's bad, but it's fun in the sense that it feels like they're trying to not tell us exactly what happened, which has led to, fun speculation, at some kind of consensual relationship with a female employee who also works for the Celtics. That's what we kind of know. Everything else, we don't know. But we know that they claim it was consensual. But then it feels like an overreaction. Because it's like, you're allowed to cheat. He has a wife, but you're allowed to cheat on your wife. That's not anti-anything. It's a power, you're allowed to. You shouldn't, but that's an issue for you. It's an issue.
You're like, to clarify, I'm not saying go out and do it, but I'm saying,
It's not good. His wife, by the way, is Nia Long, who is an actress. But either way, it is not good. Yeah. It is quite the story. We don't know. There's many rumors.
Yeah.
There's rumors it's multiple employees. There's rumors it may have been a little less consensual than they're saying. But then why say consensual? There's rumors. Nobody knows.
The rumor I heard was that it was the someone related to the owner.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that would be interesting.
Yeah.
But I doubt it, because then that would... The thing is they seem to have come out and been very actively like, this is bad. This is, guys, not good. Yeah. So I feel like that would be an underwhelming thing.
Yeah. I wonder if they're trying to catch something ahead. You know what I mean? Where they were like, hey, just so you know, we know.
Because then I would even argue, if it's daughter of owner, let's say, or cousin of owner, I think then the power dynamic thing actually disappears a little bit. Because you can do a base level head coach of the team with an employee. That's a power dynamic that can't exist. That's a comedy power dynamic that isn't allowed. You can't have it. Can't have it. So right away, I'm like, yeah. Now, if it's the daughter of the owner, I would say power dynamic's kind of equal there. Daughter of the owner, that's a pretty even power dynamic. And then I'm really fascinated. And then I get excited.
Yeah, it's
then I go, okay, now, because that means, because this is a young, that we have such a hard time in all of sports. This is across the board. And this is just like a basic bullshit thing that has existed in the dawn of sports, which is athletes tend to be black, coaches tend to be white. There's this idea that white and it's like so frustrating. And Ime is a young black coach who is sensational, is kind of revolutionizing in many ways. Like the way they played basketball last year was really exciting, and it sucks to see him go down. If he goes down for something that's bullshit, like if it comes out and it's like daughter of the owner, it'd be like, put him back out there. Who gives a shit? That's I would yell that's an even power dynamic then. I'm less upset.
Yeah. I mean, it's he's making waves, so it's a shame.
It's a real shame. But nobody knows. And that is kind of the fun of it, is that everybody's yelled. There's been rumors of multiple employees, rumors of Unconsensual. I feel like I've heard others. There's rumors that This is also an affair for her, so this caused an issue for her situation.
Yeah.
I think multiple is the only one that really I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, and also an unconsensual thing would be
unconsensual, yes, but then they'd be walking back their initial statement, which I don't buy. I feel like you wouldn't say a consensual relationship if it wasn't fully consensual. They seem to have really led with that.
Okay.
They came out. We don't know, so there is a chance. That is not like an incorrect thing. There is a chance it's not consensual. I would say then, dumb opening statement.
Yeah, unless that's the statement where it's like we have confirmation this was a consensual thing. So
it sounds like they've been doing the investigation for a while, kept it down.
God, it is such a bummer though that it's also both these stories are non-players. So it's such a bummer that the players are so stoked to come out and like everything's starting back up again. Everyone's excited to watch, and now these two things are happening, and they're like, come on.
Oh, and it's bang bang, which a lot of fun NBA conspiracy theorists were like, really? Immediately distract from the owner's story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wild. It was a wild week in the NBA of like the players are back. Everybody, what does everyone look like? You know, James Harden, how much weight did he lose? Like rumors was he had lost weight. What's John Wall look like? John Wall's really open. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then 2 people suspended, big suspensions. Year-long suspensions are not given out lightly. Those are big old suspensions.
Yeah.
And I think the owner of the Suns is going to sell. And the owner of the Dan Snyder just will never sell.
Just probably. That's such a shame.
It's a shame. It's a shameful way to start the season, but we do have to cover that on this show. We have to cover the negatives as well as the positives. There's a lot of fun things happening around sports. We like to talk about those. This is interesting to me. I do find this is what's fun about the NBA. I love, one of my favorite things about sports is that you take big issues and you get these very specific stories. Right? It's like power dynamic relationships. We could, we all say in theory, but then it's like, all right, here's this one specific example. And if it is daughter of owner, I debate she has more power than him.
Well, I think that depends on also
matters on age. There's other factors, but I would argue that's a person that would be somebody who if I was single and I heard like, oh, I'm working for this TV show and this is the daughter of the showrunner, I'd be like, that's an obvious hands-off situation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's an obvious hands-off situation. You don't mess with that. That's a very unsafe situation, particularly if you're going to cheat on your wife. That's not who you cheat on your wife with. Yeah,
it's risky with no problematic scenarios. You add problem and it's like, okay, well.
Yeah. So, the details will continue to emerge. Much like our anal bead chess story, much like our World Cup story that we continue to monitor, that we will update as they come. No updates on Chessgate. World Cup basically holding the same except now commercials, but we keep updating. Dan Snyder, by the way, I've never stopped waiting for a new story to break on that.
Yeah.
There's just zero repercussions ever. Every day he continues to just serve he's on a yacht in Croatia.
I have a hopeful feeling that eventually when this monstrosity titan of a human being is taken down, I think it's going to be such a reinvigoration for the team.
Oh, the fans will be in tears.
Yeah.
I genuinely, I think about it sometimes and I'm like, I'll cry.
Yeah.
Like the day I'm like, oh my God, I'm because we're also, it's the same with a TV show, with anything. Top down. If your top person sucks, everybody's going to suck.
Yeah, it's just such a gloomy energy.
Because you get permission to suck. This dude sucks. Like, when did I suck?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to suck. Our stadium sucks. This sucks. That sucks. Everything sucks. We have the worst stadium. We charge the most for beer. We have the highest beer prices of any NFL stadium. We have, I think it's $14 for
oh my gosh.
For Landover, Maryland. New York City teams have cheaper beer ticket sales than us. We are it's bad. The second he leaves, now it's tough because everybody who works there will be fired immediately. because they will probably have to do a full cleanse.
Great.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll take it in a second. And yet,
Didn't even change my heart rate. I was like, cool, do it.
yet Robert Sarver, one investigation, probably done forever, definitely done for the season. EMA, we can't wait to find out what this is.
Yeah.
But for now, we continue to learn. And now a fun story. We'll be right back. During this break in the action, if you have a story idea, send it to me. You can email it to me. You can message me on Instagram. You can message me on Twitter. You can message me on all the ways to send it to me. Send me ideas. I'll shout you out. I like it. I don't know everything. Send me ideas. All right, back to the show. And we're back. And now, more of a fun story. An age-old tradition in baseball happened again this weekend, and it is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite baseball bits, I guess I would call it. Baseball players have bits they do because they're weird, traditional people. So this week, we had one of my favorite bits, which is the age-old National Anthem standoff. You ever heard of a National Anthem standoff?
Not a standoff, no.
National Anthem standoff is a classic. This is when two players on opposing teams refuse to go back into the dugout after the National Anthem, continuing to hold their National Anthem pose until one person breaks. Oh
my God.
It is great. It is fascinating to watch. It is classic.
Say when.
It's literally two people just holding their pose. This week's battle, and this year's, this only happens like probably once or twice a year. And this was a big one. Robbie Ray versus Luke Weaver. Everybody's caught wise at this point. So at this point, they have been out there for, I believe it is 5 minutes.
No.
Past the National Anthem. We are getting close to the point where the game has to start.
Yeah.
And yet neither player will break.
Wow.
This is said footage. They're holding their poses. At this point, players have brought them water. Players have brought them towels. It becomes a bit. The standoff is real. Everybody is aware of the situation. Everybody knows what's happening.
Wow.
And they just hold.
Who's
That's Luke Weaver.
I think he's gonna fold first.
It's a good. Then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Now they hold. Now at this point again, game is getting ready to start. Ump is now furious. This is not funny anymore to him. Ump is mad. We have lost the humor. This guy's mad. Players are trying to go. Get out of here. Either player gonna break.
And of course the crowd's like, whoa.
Yep. Oh, they're showing another thing. Get out. Everyone's mad. Now everybody's upset.
Yeah, he looks so comfortable that he's like, I'm not going anywhere, dude.
Got a break. And then there it was. It happened. Younger guy.
Yes! I knew it.
Both players ejected for the game.
They got ejected from the game?
They got ejected. And this is the moment where he broke. Ejected for the game, but a victory nonetheless.
That is hilarious.
Is that not a wild tradition in baseball?
Wow.
And it happens once a year.
And do they get ejected every time?
No, not usually get ejected.
That's insane.
Usually somebody breaks much sooner. This is about the longest I've gone. I think one time the game actually started, and then they were like, guys, we had a guy in Aaron Barrett on the Nationals did it multiple times.
Yeah.
And he was very good. He was very stoic.
So, are they like, I imagine they don't have the biggest players on the team do it because then if they get ejected.
These are both players those are both pitchers who were not pitching that day.
Oh, okay.
So they knew what they could do. They knew.
That's so fun.
It's
You know what? I changed it. They knew they weren't playing that day. That's hilarious.
It's a good time.
You got ejected, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. No, there's no actual repercussion. That's just funny. It's a good time. Builds camaraderie.
Yeah.
Gets the stadium's in on it. When you see him walk off, everybody
Yeah.
stadium's in on the battle.
Yeah.
Like, you know what's
I
happening.
do like the two old umps and refs being like, all right, kids, knock it off.
Oh, you can see them just so like, come on. We're supposed
God.
to start at a certain time. We're not starting. Like, it's time to go. It's great. It's what I live for. I live for weird baseball traditions. And the whole time they're going, I'm just playing in the background while we talk, but they're going and everybody is fully aware, fully watching, and just fascinated.
This is a sidebar. It's from a previous story we've talked about. Named
Yes.
Castellanos.
Uh-huh.
Every now and then, I'll send them to you sometimes, but on TikTok, people will just, there's just a trend of someone like making up this insane, terrible thing. And then the background is just Nick just hitting a home run.
And for those of you who didn't listen to that episode, Nick Castellanos is the baseball player who consistently hits home runs when sad information is being given by the announcers. He's done it more times than makes any sense possible.
Yes.
Particularly when you remember he cannot hear they're in the middle of a sad thing.
Right.
So this is a thing that he is unaware he keeps doing.
Yeah, twice is already, I think, improbable, but it's happened.
And it's 5-6 times. Yeah, that is a great trend. I know. And it's a nice trend. And that's, for those of you listening to podcasts, you get in on that kind of stuff. That's the thing. Once you get in on sports history, then it's like, then you start picking up. This, you'll see it again at some point.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, I know what they're doing.
That's one of my favorite things, and I hope the viewers have this too, where like, because I follow UFC, that's the only sport I really follow, but like because of this podcast now, I just have little things, like I'll be in the shower and I'll be like, Wander Franco, there's just so many names, like it'll just hit me, and I'll be like, wow.
Yeah, no, you'll come across him in life and you'll be like, I know a thing about that guy. That guy's he's got a weird family. Robbie Ray, Luke Weaver, hats off to you. Great job. Yes. Great job. Love it. Can't support this more in sports.
Right.
This is what sports is all about. Having fun in the midst of the game. We'll be right back.
Yeah, doggity.
And we're back with our final story of the day. And this is a follow-up to a story that we've been doing for a while now. I believe this has now become a tentpole of this show. Is us tracking animal and environmental protesters and their inability to pull off a protest. Oh, it's been, those of you that follow the show know, we've seen players chain themselves to basketball hoops, glue themselves to basketball courts. What else? Run on courts, get tackled on courts, try to attack a hot dog eater wearing a Star Wars hat, wearing a Darth Vader. We've seen it all. And I've many times said that I think that at a certain point you really go, well, I've seen the worst one. I say to myself, well, surely that's the worst one you can do.
I felt that way. I felt that it's peaked.
You would. And I say to myself, because one thing I don't like doing, I don't like going back to the same story over and over. You gotta get bored.
Yeah.
We've covered protesters. We got it. And I don't like giving attention to protesters. I don't think it's a good thing to do. And then a protester comes along and does such a terrible job that I'm like, well, what are we doing if not talking about it?
I'll talk about you, but just know I'm not happy about it.
So first off, legend. Roger Federer retired at the age of 200. I don't know how old he was, but it feels like he's been playing for 70,000 years. It was really beautiful. Him and Nadal crying during their last match. That's his rival of decades, which shows you how much respect and admiration he has among his fellow players. The time has come for him to retire. And this is at his final match. This is minutes before his final match. He's about to do it. How old?
41.
41, which is 1,000 when you think about how old tennis, how much you have to run during tennis.
Yeah.
But he's made $1 billion. This is God bless you.
Thank you.
This is a legend in the game. Does it hurt to sneeze with the nose ring?
No.
Okay.
No. Just fun. Yeah.
Just the thought I had.
Yeah. No. It does get caught on things, and that's a pain I don't wish on anybody. Ooh. But like I think initially, like the first couple of days, it hurt, but now it's just like
nothing.
I don't really feel it.
Don't think about it.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Because I was just like, I imagine it's caught. So our young man, 20-year-old named Kai. He's a member of the UK Private Jets group, which is about stopping people from taking private jet flights. Sure. Again, the biggest issue with all this is these are good causes.
Yeah.
Nobody's here to disagree with this cause. This cause is correct.
I disagree with the name. Because it sounds like it's a group of kids who own private jets.
And UK private jet, yes. That doesn't. It's not. I mean, they're not flashy.
Yeah.
But either way, so his plan, I believe, was to, and this happens quick. So when I start this, you got to pay attention, but because it's pretty fast. I couldn't find a video where we really caught the run on. Okay. But his plan was to set fire to the court.
Wow, lofty.
Lofty goal.
lofty goal. The whole thing.
To at least his section, I believe. He wanted to set fire to.
And this is during that final Roger
So this
Federer's.
is 30 minutes before it's happening.
Okay.
So not mid game. He goes out there. His goal is going to try to set fire to the court. Make them to do it. He instead sets fire to himself,
Oh, no.
causing him to completely lose anything, and then they put out the fire in 2.5
Oh,
seconds.
my gosh. I've never, and this is not a bit, I've never seen a fire get put out that fast.
He could not have done a worse job because he loses the focus on it because his arm is on fire.
Yes.
Because his arm is actively on fire.
What I love is he then tries to go back like calm, collected.
Yep.
Afterwards, it's like,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
Yeah, and then, by the way, also one of the lamest getting pulled out, just embarrassing. And what are we, and how does this help anybody? How does this make anybody who cares about climate change look good?
Man, as someone who genuinely cares about this kind of stuff, it just makes me mad. It's like,
Yep. The more you get into it, the more you're like, why? We could do it so much better. We could not do it. We could do it so much better. We can make I yell about climate change all the time. Mm-hmm. I think it is a massive issue. I think that it is not just a massive, it's also shifted where it went from an issue that I really think is going to happen to now being like, so now it's just happening. Now we're in, now it's 1,000 degrees. Yeah. We're in it. All we have to do is not keep doing it, and we continue onward.
Also, he lit it so close to himself. It's like, what? At the end of the day, what did you think was going to happen?
Yep. No, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm curious with many of these, I'm curious what the plan is. Gluing yourself to the court. What's our dream scenario, right? That's something I always say, to people,
yeah, what's our dream scenario?
Well, I always talk to people, particularly when, people are in fights with other people, and they're like, I go, what's our dream ending?
Yeah.
What's our dream ending with this? Other than, because I understand you want to, say something mean to them. What's your dream ending? Mm-hmm. Is your dream ending for them to apologize? Then we kind of want to really express our feelings. Is our dream ending just to make them cry? Then it's do what you want to do.
Yeah.
What's our dream ending? So it's gluing yourself to the court. It's dream ending. What is that? What does that stop the game for? Dream ending here. How does this end well?
Because what is the court made out of? Do you know? Is it concrete? Because it looks like it's a very...
I think it's a clay... No. I don't know. I wish I knew.
For someone who cares about the environment, they don't really know what materials and earth...
I mean,
how to use minerals.
He definitely gets a fire going.
Yeah.
There is a fire on the court. There's just also a fire on his arm.
I wonder if he used an oil or something, and that's why. Because
by the way, that's just that guy's suit jacket. Incredible composure.
Yeah.
By that guy. Side note.
And then they carry him off like a cherub on a fountain.
Yep. And then and off he goes, and he just must know at this point.
Carries off like the Superman he feels he is.
Yeah, it's just and what does this do? How does this make us look as a unit?
I mean, yeah. The whole thing's over in less than 30 seconds.
Less than 30 seconds. And also embarrassing.
Yeah.
And also, you embarrassed yourself because you're on fire.
Yeah, light the net on fire, because then that's a whole thing. They have to switch that out.
Now you got to get a whole new net. We've caused a little issue. The Seahawks-Falcons game stopped for 10 minutes this weekend because somebody was flying a drone over the stadium.
Ooh.
That caused a real problem.
Isn't that crazy that's an issue now?
I know. And I had a friend in the stadium who was it caused he was in the stadium, we had no clue what was happening. The players just walked off, and then there was a bunch of people. He's because it's
like a closed dome.
Yeah. So nobody could even see what it was. Or it might not even be domed. But either way, he was nobody knew what was happening. It wasn't a scary, it's a tiny drone. But either way, it was, brought that game to a halt for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was just an idiot. He didn't even have a purpose.
Yeah.
But this guy. But, hey, props to Kai on this. Mm-hmm. Every time I think you can't do a worse protest. These guys.
It's almost like they're trying to have a speed run for how quick they can have it not work.
I was like, let's get creative. Like, let's get fire involved, but how do I also hurt myself in front of everyone? How do I make it so that somehow I both don't accomplish what I want to and also clearly hurt myself? Because he's on fire for a hot second. So that's going to be bad.
Yeah.
I touched the oven the other day and I'm like still kind of like feeling it a little bit, just like for a hot second. I mean, ow, that quick. And I'm still like, got me. And it's like, that was on fire for.
Yeah, he didn't get burned. He was on fire.
On fire. Arm on fire. Wow. And then, yes, as you said, the trying to go back into it, like, no, that's right. I was going to sit cross-legged.
That's right. I was going to be stoic.
That's right. Stoic and cross-legged. And then just, you're not going to get up? Okay, we'll just pick you up. Also, it's old men. It isn't even like security. It's like, I mean, just.
Yeah.
In what world? Incredible composure.
That's how you know it's not, because there's still people that are standing calmly.
Yes.
Just hanging out. That's how you know it's like,
yep.
Okay, this was nothing.
Just literally, all right, I guess. I just haven't. I mean, nothing will touch the glue girl when it comes to an entire stadium literally having to have the lady being like, I think a woman passed out. No, it was a protest. Wait, what? Like, that was so pathetic that literally nobody even knew a protest occurred.
Yeah.
We definitely are aware something happened here. Credit to him. Mm-hmm. He definitely got us talking.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I said, we got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Gotta. What choice do I have? We'll be right back. Oh, hey, during this break in the action, I have nothing else to say. I just want to give us a break in the action. Thank you for watching. Keep subscribing, rating. All right, let's go back. Oh, and what a show it was. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Noah, tell the people you're not going to be on camera, but tell them nevertheless where they can find you.
The socials, as usual, at Noah Kopfer on Instagram. And I will be in Iowa October 14th and 15th.
And what's that terrible pun?
Called Fun Lap Comedy Festival. It's going to be very fun.
Fun Lap, I'm pulling for you as a festival. Love to do it. Let's have a talk about the name. For me, October 13th, trailer probably coming out this week. Things are happening. The new special. Rumors are starting to swirl. People are starting to duck. It's going to be exciting. We've got some cool things that have come in. That's it. That's the only thing. And now we end the show with 3 shots of glory. And due to the fact that I do this less, I will actually do the 3 shots of glory this time. 3 shots from the couch, seated down. Now, last time that I did this, I've only done it one time. Despite my showing Noah multiple times, I've nailed it. Mm-hmm. Failed on camera.
Yes, I do want to say for the record, if there are any doubts, I had up until that point, I had only seen him nail it.
Yes. But sometimes you panic, you don't get it right, and that's life.
Yeah.
3 shots. Here we go. I'm going to try to narrate while I do this. First shot. Ooh, terrible.
Oh.
Like an amateur.
Yeah.
Well short, folks. That's okay, because we got to get sense for the ball.
Ooh,
that one
even
was very
closer.
Close.
That was good adjustments.
That's where it was.
That's a man who could adjust his shot. All right, last one.
Now, unfortunately, when you adjust, you hit it. We'll be right back. See you next week.
You're a #1 fan, so you know the stats. Heard all the pundits talking, so you know enough of that. Maybe it's time to hear some crazy folks chat about all the other stuff that's behind the net. But maybe you don't care about playing ball, and you want to hear the gossip whether big or small. Maybe it's time to hear some funny folks talk about what goes on when the batter don't walk. Maybe you'd like to hear a little more. Maybe you don't even care about sports. Either way, go on and buckle up your shorts. Cause this is everything but the scores with Danny Jollis. Yeah, doggity.